Ciao, my loves. This is Gemma with your August full moon on the 22nd. Let me first off say, before we get into this, this energy is so prominent in terms of really moving you to trust your own inner guru. The moon sits conjunct with a retrograde Jupiter, directly reflecting the position of the sun, Mars, and Mercury in Leo. Your power, your awareness, and what is being communicated through you is within you. In addition to that, I want to note that there is a special resonance in terms of the dawning of a day. So there is an important aspect within this full moon of a new beginning, a new journey. It is illuminated within self. There is more indication. What I'm getting is that there needs to be more space. There needs to be more space with the referencing of external. Truly, you must come into the heart. There's too much mental agitation based off of the external circumstances. And there's a lot of agitation in terms of how one holds himself because of this external stirring. The peace and the guidance you need has always been alive within you. You must trust that. You are the guru. Okay. Now, it is the rise of the sun. So I want to point out that the unique positions here, it will move you forward into a deeper message or a deeper understanding. For many of you, you're starting to understand different things. For all of us, we are moving into a new world. So let's get into it. This full moon is full of power, and it will bring forward a resurgence of life force. It's go time, my loves. And the beginning of this month, the transition into these new energies and directives could have felt like pressure or uncertainty. It also might have felt like things are shifting or you have too much to carry. Everybody will be different based on your planets. However, collectively, we have all felt and received intuitive push from the soul to step into the new self that has been unfolding this entire year. Here we are, the rise of the sun. The theme for this full moon is positive, masculine, outward forces that will bring new energies of self-expression, new goals, and dharma. It will also bring new confidence. A key aspect of you, okay, it's coming through. You have to rely on yourself is also coming through. Okay, a key aspect of self-expression is possession. The movement forward asks for ownership of who you are becoming. Own and take possession of your greatness and rise into it. It's a conscious shift. The energy is working and transforming the earth element. We have water, air, and earth working to transform into a new being. These energies are really working to now that it's movement. Now, okay, the movement until this, when the moon hits into Aries, we'll have a new impetus, okay? But however, while the moon is structured here in Aquarius, it's actually expanding the mind in terms of its considerations of self within the external world and how it holds itself. More importantly, it's going to, if there are any challenges, you must go inward and trust yourself. The answers you seek have always lied within you. These shifts within the consciousness are actually going to strengthen intuition in many of you and also going to illuminate how you move forward into a directive. Now, another point is, there is going to be a surgence of life force. You might have more oomph, essentially, to move forward. And you will get to see, when I say that the material world is an illusion, that was the energy preceding this. Okay. For those of you, you will be able to see between the illusion. You'll be able to see, and this is going to manifest differently for all of you based off of where you are. But you're going to, and this seeing is like, you see through past experiences, maybe that you held somebody at fault. These are just examples, and you no longer hold them at fault. You almost see the lesson behind that, the cycle completion. Some of you might see the facade of things, like when people, the pretending of stuff. That's going to be illuminated. A lot of you are going to be able to actually open up your minds in different ways and get more creative. And here's how. You're going to be able to create points of reference that are no longer bound by space and time. So things that seemed unseemingly connected, you will see how they are connected. Everybody is given this expansion of the mind within the material world. Now I want you to know this is expansion of the mind is going to affect you differently based off of your house placement. But spiritually, this is going to expand how we hold and move into a new sense of being and create our world. It's all through the individuated mind. And this is heavily on the rising of the soul into an expanded sense of self. It's going to help you not be bound by anyone or anything. Now, a lot of these energies, as I mentioned, have been working through this past year, stabilizing mental, emotional bodies, your relationships within human relationships, relationship with body, relationship with money, all of these things. Now you must see yourself beyond it. Everything is available to you. So this is a lot of the energies are awakening and bringing illumination. Now Mars's influence here is going to shift and transform. It's also going to give you more courage, more vigor, more life force to explore the things outside of what you have considered or thought possible. Also to move into new horizons within your own sense of being and the courage to trust yourself. Mercury's placement reflecting will play an important role in terms of only communicating and execution based off of what is purposeful and not reaction. So this is shifting as well. Your interrelationship is a form of reaction. This is creating an intelligence of response, not of reaction. So the wisdom you receive, the insights, the action to move forward, all of these things are coming together. And that's the power of this full moon and the power of you. This point is when the evolutionary outgoing path meets the involutionary ingoing path. And what that means is the way that you are expanding or what has expanded is now meeting that involution, how you connect to your center. You're being able to connect in this full moon. Things will come to light. This is such an important time. It's not so much about putting outward. It's about how the outward, how you are manifesting, but the involution. It's a major point of transformation on your rise. You're expanded. That means whatever outside that you might have held yourself to or anything that lingered is now dissipating. It's creating more space, more abundance, more wealth, more of you coming into you. It is the involution creating the evolution, okay? The evolution of the self meets the inner self for outward expression. The confidence here will rise. Material becomes more stable and muddled less. Many of you are no longer putting your sense of self in the external. And if you are, you will be called to come back in center. Maya, illusion, is overcome through owning the self and the gift of Leo. Okay, so let's talk about this. Maya, the illusion of Maya is time, space, reality, in the material world. So this is everything I just talked about. A lot of you will be able to see through the delusion of things. Thinking you have to be any other way than yourself. Thinking you have to be or do anything other than being yourself. This is the gift of Leo. This is the gift of where the sun's position is reflecting back. It is the separation from Anima Mundi, the universal soul. The Jiva Atman, the individuated self, is strengthened. At this point, you begin to trust that you are everything and that divine is within you. Trust that. The individual self is strengthened and Dharma has a greater footing. Let's talk about Dharma because I feel as if it's tricky for some of you. Dharma is purpose, and quickly that becomes associated with what you have to do. It is who you are. Your Dharma is to be into your very being, your unique self. Your purpose is to honor your truth, whatever that may look like, independent of anyone or anything around you. The imprinting is within you. This is coming to light of owning your sense of unique self. This individual self is strengthened. This sense of being has greater footing, greater clarity, and the rise of the sun and the soul move with vigor and courage into brighter horizons. These energies are working to manifest on the outer plane. So there's been so much energy working earlier this year, developing levels of consciousness and awakening your sense of self, your Dharma, where you need to move into. But this is the new energy that is moving to develop these gifts. All of this is being illuminated. Things are breaking away so you can rise. You're literally conquering. I want you to imagine, in the sense of using Mars, I want you to imagine the warrior, like Achilles, blazing through with every skill and every aspect that has brought him to this moment. You are rising. Everything that once thought was holding is now beginning to crumble. You are on your kingdom. These are developing levels of consciousness and awakening this sense of connection to self or truth. Now again, when the moon moves into Aries, this outward will become more prominent. Right now, the restructuring of higher consciousness is creating connections, links. So you're seeing through the truth of yourself, but also through the material world, through relationships. You're seeing how things, what you got from something, you might be seeing old trauma. All of these things are being revealed to you, and how these things were tethered to experience within the material, and vice versa. So if anything is coming up, it's moving out, it's literally crumbling. So it's creating a new conscious awareness, okay? Now, the energies will develop more of the individuated self. So the more that you take possession and the more that you take ownership of who you are and become your own leader and honor, no, that doesn't work for me. Yes, that does. No, that doesn't feel resonant within me. Yes, that does. How do I need to move forward in my truth? The more you take ownership and possession of your own greatness and that you are your own guru, the more will be illuminated to you. That is the nature of this energy. If you own it, then more wisdom will start to flourish. If you own you, then you're going to see all these connections. If you stay into the point that you are the witnesser, you will begin to see the things that linger in the external world or what you might have been attached to. And this can be everything: mental, emotional, interrelation. Those are just how we express these energies. But these energies have also developed the individual self. More of you will know who you are. And this lunation of masculine dominant energy within feminine creative power essentially is that there is new directive stemming from cosmic waters, feminine power, that gives this energy a new life, new experience. It is literally the cradle of what you experience, what you feel, what you think, and how you will create in this world. That directive, that masculine, positive masculine energy is new illumination. So it's these insights and these revelations that I'm pretty sure that you've been getting. And within the womb of this feminine energy, it's literally electrified. So it's ready, it's brimming to be expressed. But it's working within the conscious mind. It's working to release some of the maybe little things in the subconscious. Now, for many of you, you will have desires, dreams, reach new forms of manifested reality. Like everything you hope for, you're starting to see come together because you've opened your world to receive it. A lot of this is receptive energy. It's breaking away what you thought might have held you, or what you needed from another person or another situation or constructs of government or whatever. It's a very fortuitous lunation. It is showing you your own power. For many of you, this is going to show you how you navigate through this world. And Jupiter is going to play a key role because it is conjunct with the moon. It's going to show how we are uplifting. It's going to expand the qualities. And because it is retrograde, it's allowing us to undo some things through expansion. So I cannot emphasize this enough. The expansive quality, the acceptance, accept and forgive are so key. Accept and forgive, and then allow that to expand. When you expand something, you raise its nature. You are more accepting. You accept the sense of self in all of its forms, but you are more accepting of this world that you were playing in. This is going to uplift Sun and Mars. This is going to give you a lot more levity on how you navigate. While the moon will work with illuminating what lies behind the illusion, this lunation is not only just revealing, it is unifying. It's going to reveal what you aren't so you can know what you are. It's going to reveal the ways you held yourself back so you know you cannot be bound. When you know what you do want, you know what you don't want. And equally, when you know what you don't want, You know where you stand. And this is the beauty of this lunation. It will illuminate into that center. Do not fight the flow. Surrender into it. It's part of the acceptance, the expansion. Give up control. It's so, for many of you that are listening to this, it's a delusion. It's a defense mechanism. Allow yourself to be guided, to be nurtured, to be taken and to be illuminated. This very illumination, this allowance is going to drop away the dross, the heaviness, because it will no longer be in a vibrational resonance that you give a life to. There's a unique energy in this full moon with the energy of spiritualization and transforming interrelationship of the self and others. This will work through material life. It will work through all facets of relationship. Some of you may feel tempted to resort to past placation and pleasure seeking because remember, you're in new worlds. You're in a new world. Use your strength to create where you are going, not where you've been from. Follow your heart of creation and nourish what is arising. This can only be done by the ownership of the aspects of self. If you own yourself in wholeness, you are able to nourish it. You're able to recognize its rise and support its rise with the proper actions, proper environments, proper mentality. Again, when you know what you aren't, you know what you are. And you will navigate based on that. Make love to your lesser nature. What you thought was lesser or undesirable is perfect. It is a part of your creation. Woo the traits that are perceived aren't as pretty. Now is the time for acceptance, for expansion. Own all of it. Own it and honor it. Almost elevate it to the level of the traits that you do elevate within yourself. Make them equal. This will allow you to embrace everything that is flowing to you, and nothing can be held against you. Again, the ownership of self will rise into new heights. Move beyond what you perceive and how you are perceived. Silence and devotion to this new you is required. That means applying directive to positive force of masculine energy into outward action. Again, move and into this world how you see yourself. If you're the king, the queen, the god, the goddess that you are, sit from your throne from a higher expanded consciousness of oneness within yourself and everybody else, and then observe. Then allocate and move from that place. Again, this energy is really important in terms of creating responsible or response from intention and not reaction. This can be in any area of your life, but your commitment to stabilizing these new creative forces and energy that is moving is so important. You must stay committed to who you are becoming and stay centered. I've said this before and I will say it again. Close the gates. That means close your senses. Do not allow any naysayers, anything that will hinder your vision of your resonance, of your world, and your ownership of who you are. Because the individuated self is seeking new heights. You don't live in the old house anymore. It's time to trust yourself and rise into your greatness. Be well, my loves. Sending you so much love on this full moon and every day. Many blessings to each and every one of you. For those of you that would like to book a private reading, you can do so on my website. The links will be below. I also have a lunar mapping workshop coming up in September. This essentially works with your own planetary placements within the lunar mansions for understanding how the cosmic energies resonate within you mentally, emotionally, and also how to create and time yourself and your actions based on the lunar days. And so it's a great way to bring cosmic energies down and work with them, as well as through ritual, and also understand how these are mapped within you. It is essentially the bridge between the microcosmic and the macrocosm from the lunar perspective through the lunar mansions. Okay, that's all I have for you. I hope to see you in this lunar mapping workshop. And I hope you stay well. And please, if you can, give this a like, a share, and a subscribe. And I hope you're following me on Instagram for other lunar insights and spiritual goodness. All my love. Ciao.